Hey, what's up, man? It's your boy Yas, chosen one, and you are too because you have chose to study the word that Yah has given to you, man, and open up your eyes and stop worrying about the knowledge and foolishness of this word of this world and actually getting the word of Yah. We're gonna continue in the great book of Genesis, chapter 23. It's a fairly short chapter. I am not gonna combine it with 24 because 24 is long as I don't know what. So we're going to go in the great book of Genesis, chapter 23. And let's see what's up, eh? And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. So she was 127 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kiriath Arba, the same as Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my Lord, thou art a mighty prince amongst us. In the choice of our sepulchres bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but thou mayest bury thy dead. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth, because he showed respect. Even though we're children of the Most High, we're supposed to respect what others do. If it's not of Yah, then we're not supposed to do it, but we still supposed to respect, what those people do, and if it goes against Yah, then don't do it. But, you give respect to those people, it's their land, and you give respect to those people. And he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat for me to Ephron the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he have, which is in the end of the field. For as much money as it is worth, he shall give it to me, for a possession of burying place amongst you. And Ephron dwelt amongst the children of Heth. And Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in the gates of his city, saying, Nay, my lord, hear me, the field give I thee, and the cave that is therein I give it thee, and in the presence of the sons of my people give I it thee. Bury thy dead. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land, and he spake unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me. I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, My lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that betwixt me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named, in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. And the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was between Mamre, the field and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gates of his city. And after this Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field of Machpelah, before Mamre, the same as Hebron, the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. So we have it, man. We have the sons of Heth here agreeing to Abraham to bury his wife Sarah in that field which Abraham purchased. So he did it legally, got all the documentation. He has witnesses. He has everything to say that, he brought this land, fair and square. You know what I'm saying? All right. So Genesis chapter 23 goes with Jashser chapter 24. And goes with Jashser chapter 24. And We're just going to combine the two because, that was a short chapter. So, yeah, we'll just combine the two, okay? All right. All right, so here we go. So, first we'll start with Jashser chapter 23, verse 86. And we're going to see how Sarah really died. And the Bible just said that Sarah died. She wasn't stricken with age. She died. She was 127 years old, but you're about to see how she died. And behold, and remember, the story beforehand was that, Isaac and Abraham had went up to that mount and, and Sarah thought that Isaac was dead. And behold, Satan came to Sarah in the shape of an old man, and he came and stood before her, and he said unto her, I spoke falsely unto thee, for Abraham did not kill his son, and he is not dead. And when she heard the word, her joy was so exceedingly violent on account of her son that her soul went out through joy. She died and was gathered to her people. As we read in Genesis 23, verse 1 through 2. Wow. And when Abraham had finished his service, he returned with his son Isaac to his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and they came home. And Abraham sought for Sarah, and could not find her, and he made inquiries concerning her, and they said unto him, She went as far as Hebron to seek you, but both where you had gone, for thus was she informed. She was informed that she went to go see Eber and Shem. And Abraham and Isaac went to her to Hebron, and when they found that she was dead, they lifted up their voices and wept bitterly over her. And Isaac fell upon his mother's face and wept over her. And he said, O my mother, how hast thou left me? And where hast thou gone? O how hast thou left me? And Abraham and Isaac wept greatly, and all their servants wept with them on account of Sarah, and they mourned over her a great and heavy mourning. And you see, this woman, Sarah, man, Abraham loved her. Her son, Isaac, man, they, definitely loved her, man. So, it just goes to show, man, you're supposed to love your woman, man. You ain't supposed to treat her like crap. Love your woman, man. And, this is one woman Abraham had that he loved her to death, man. And the life of Sarah was 127 years, just like the Bible says in Genesis 23, verse 1. And Sarah died, and Abraham rose up from before his dead to seek a burial place to bury his wife Sarah. And he went and spoke to the children of Heth, the inhabitants of the land, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you in the land. Give me a possession of a burial place in your land, that I may bury my dead from before me. And the children of Heth said unto Abraham, Behold, the land is before thee. In the choice of our sepulchres bury thy dead, for no man shall withhold thee from burying thy dead. So Genesis 23, verse 6. It's just common courtesy, man. You don't withhold somebody from burying their dead, man. You be respectable of it, and these guys were. And Abraham said unto them, If you are agreeable to this, go and entreat for me to Ephron, the son of Zochar, requesting that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which is in the end of his field, and I will purchase it of him for whatever he desired for it. So Abraham picked this particular place, this cave in Machpelah. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and they went and called for him, and he came before Abraham. And Ephron said unto Abraham, Behold, all thou requirest thy servant will do. And Abraham said, No, but I will buy the cave and the field which thou hast for value, in order that it may be for a possession of a burial place forever. This is where Abraham is buried. It's where he's buried. And Ephron answered and said, Behold, the field and the cave are before thee. Give whatever thou desirest. And Abraham said, Only at full value will I buy it from thy hand, and from the hands of those that go in and at the gate of thy city, and from the hand of thy seed forever. So Abraham wasn't about hand-me-downs, man. He wasn't about give me something, man. He believed in a fair price. A deal is a deal. He was a fair guy, man. And Ephron answered and said, and behold, the field and the cave are before thee. Give whatever thou desirest. Okay, I already read that. All right, verse 7. And Ephron and all his brethren heard this. And Abraham weighed to Ephron 400 shekels of silver in the hands of Ephron and in the hands of all his brethren. And Abraham wrote this transaction, and he wrote it and testified it with 4 witnesses. And these are the names of the witnesses: Ammiel, son of Abishna, the Hittite; Adikaram, son of Ashunat, the Hivite; Abdon, son of Achiram, the Gomerite; Bakdil, the son of Abudish, the Zidonite. So it was a Zidon. And Abraham took the book of the purchase and placed it in his treasures. And these are the words that Abraham wrote in the book, namely, that the cave and the field Abraham brought from Ephron the Hittite, and from his seed, and from those that go out of his city, and from their seed forever, are to be a purchase to Abraham, and to his seed, and to those that go forth from his loins, for a possession of a burial place forever. And he put a signet to it, and testified it with witnesses. And the field and the cave that was in it, and all that place were made sure unto Abraham, and unto his seed after him. From the children of Heth, behold, it is before Mamre and Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan. And after this, Abraham buried his wife Sarah there, and that place and all its boundary became to Abraham and unto his seed for a possession of a burial place. And Abraham buried Sarah with pomp, as observed at the interment of kings. And she was buried in a very fine and beautiful garment. So she was absolutely beautiful in her grave. She was an absolutely beautiful woman. And at her bier was Shem, his sons Eber and Abimelech, together with Anar, Ashcal, and Mamre, and all the grandees of the land followed her bier. And the days of Sarah were 127 years, and she died. And Abraham made a great and heavy mourning, and he performed the rites of mourning for 7 days. And all the inhabitants of the land comforted Abraham and Isaac his son on account of Sarah. And when the days of their mourning passed by, Abraham sent away his son Isaac. And he went to the house of Shem and Eber to learn the ways of Yah and his instructions. And Abraham remained there 3 years. So he finally went to go to Shem and Eber, becoming a man of Yah. At that time, Abraham rose up with all his servants, and they went and returned homeward to Beersheba. And Abraham and all his servants remained in Beersheba. And at the revolution of the year, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, died in that year. He was 193 years old at his death. 193 years old. And Abraham went with his people to the land of the Philistines, and they comforted the whole household and all his servants. And he then returned and went home. And it was after the death of Abimelech that the people of Gerar took Ben-Malach his son, and he was only 12 years old, and they made him lion in the place of his father. And they called his name Abimelech, after the name of his father, for thus was it their custom to do in Gerar. And Abimelech reigned instead of Abimelech his father, and he sat upon his throne. So I guess it's Abimelech Jr. So he just took, now he's the king. And Lot, the son of Haran, also died in those days, in the 39th year of the life of Isaac. And all the days that Lot lived were 140 years, and he died. And these are the children of Lot that were born to him by his daughters. The name of the firstborn was Moab, and the name of the second was Ben-Ami, or Ammon. And the 2 sons of Lot went and took themselves wives from the land of Canaan. So here you see that the seed of Lot, Lot sees the Ammonites and the Moabites, they interbred with the Canaanites. And they bare children to them. And the children of Moab were Ed, Maon, Tarshish, and Campbell, 4 sons. These are the fathers to the children of Moab unto this day. And all the families of the children of Lot went to dwell wherever they should light upon, for they were fruitful and increased abundantly. And they went and built themselves cities in the land where they dwelt, and they called the name of the cities which they built after their own names. And Nahor, the son of Terah, brother to Abraham, died in those days, in the 40th year of the life of Isaac. And all the days of Nahor were 172 years, and he died and was buried in Haran. And when Abraham heard that his brother was dead, he grieved sadly, and he mourned over his brother many days. And Abraham called for Eleazar, his head servant, to give him orders concerning his house. And he came and stood before him. And Abraham said to him, Behold, I am old. I do not know the day of my death, for I am advanced in days. Now therefore rise up, go forth, and do not take a wife for my son from this place and from this land, from the daughters of the Canaanites amongst whom we dwell. You see, Abraham knew that Yahweh would bless him. And the rule for them was to stay within the Hebrews, you know what I'm saying? Not to go meddle with these Canaanites, these these Hamite folks, man. You can mess with them. You can have talk with them and stuff like that. But even back then you don't interbreed with Hamites. All right, what was that? All right. But go to my land and to my birthplace, and take from this a wife for my son. And Yah, the Almighty of heaven and earth, who took me from my father's house and brought me to this place, and he said unto me, To thy seed will I give this land for inheritance forever. He will send his Malach before thee, and prosper thy way, that thou mayest obtain a wife for my son, from my family, and from my father's house. And the servant answered his master Abraham and said, Behold, I go to thy birthplace and to thy father's house, and take a wife for thy son from there. But if the woman be not willing to follow me to this land, shall I take thy son back to the land of thy birthplace? And Abraham said unto him, Take heed that thou bring not my son hither again. For Yah, before whom I have walked, he will send his Malach before thee, and prosper thy way. So he gave the instruction twice to Eleazar. You're going to prosper, man. You just got to believe. So that Malach's going to be before you. And Eleazar did as Abraham ordered him. And Eleazar swore unto Abraham his master upon this matter. And Eleazar rose up and took 10 camels of the camels of his master, and 10 men from his master's servants with him. And they rose up and went to Haran, the city of Abraham and Nahor, in order to fetch a wife for Isaac the son of Abraham. And whilst they were gone, Abraham sent to the house of Shem and Eber, and they brought from thence his son Isaac. And Isaac came home to his father's house to Beersheba, whilst Eleazar and his men came to Haran. And they stopped in the city by the watering place, and he made his camels to kneel down by the water, and they remained there. And Eleazar, Abraham's servant, prayed and said, O Almighty of Abraham, my master, send me, I pray thee, good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master, that thou shalt appoint this day a wife for my master's son from his family. All right. Gonna stop right there. So, as you can see, during his lifetime, during this span of time, we see that Sarah died. We see that Sarah died, and we see that Lot died. His nephew Lot died. It's kind of weird that his little nephew died before him. As you can see right there, his little nephew died before him. So, but the main thing that you can see on this one is that, through Abraham, there's a lineage. Just like today, they got a lineage even in leaders of today. There's a lineage that they follow. But as far as the lineage of the Hebrews, you know, it's all gonna come to pass as we get through Genesis on down, even into the New Testament. We see that there's a lineage with the Hebrews through the seed of Judah. There's a lineage there, so, and he was supposed to stay within the lineage of the Hebrews. Abraham was like, man, don't take my son and get some Canaanite woman, man. He's gonna get a Hebrew woman, and that's all it's gonna be. That's how we gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? All right, this is your boy. Y'all's chosen one, man. Hope you got a good lesson out of that one. I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Continue to study to show thyself approved, man, each and every day, because, you know, every day is a challenge, and every day there's people that come at you. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be strong, sharpen up your swords. You know what I'm saying? All right. Shalom.